And it's live. Right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. How's
Hello.
everybody?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah. Crazy Tuesday, as always.
Trying to get everything in.
Sorry? Trying to fit everything in, yeah. Sebastian, how's your public holiday going?
Yeah, quite good.
How
You,
much
you, you saw me online only half the day, so you can imagine it was relaxing.
Only half a day? It's not
Yeah,
Um, have you had beer?
no,
Oh, then it's not been a good holiday.
no.
Holiday fail. I wasn't here 2 weeks ago. Sebastian, you did a wicked quick meeting. It was awesome. We caught up with it the other day and saw what was going on. It was good, actually. It's really interesting because I've been in every single one of these meetings. It was really interesting to actually watch it back and get the information that way. It was really informative, and I managed to catch up with everything in a really concise format. So
I hope it was okay.
it was great. It was really great. Um, so we should do the same thing. Quickly run through how the last 2 weeks have gone, and then roughly what the idea is for the next 2-ish weeks. Although I'm not planning to do another one of these meetings until the 5th of January. We won't have one in 2 weeks' time because we'll already be, basically, it'll be Christmas. And there's definitely not going to be much happening in the 2 weeks afterwards. So I figure we should just run it on all the way through, treat it like a 2-week sprint from now until the 5th of January with 2 weeks of holiday in there as well. Yeah, because no one does anything at Christmas, and no one should have to do anything at Christmas. Yeah. Does that sound good?
Yep, it sounds sensible, yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to the text meetings, David B, I think if we want to do them, if we're around, we should just do them ad hoc. And if we aren't around, then we should just drink eggnog and be happy.
So everyone else gets 2 weeks for Christmas, but I still have to do the meetings. I get
No.
it.
That's...
No, I'm totally kidding.
No. If we're around, we'll do them. If we're not around, if you're around or if I'm around, one of us will do it. And if not,
Yeah, sounds good.
we'll just carry on doing whatever else we're doing. No commitment.
No, yeah, I was joking. Sounds good.
Made me feel really bad. So, how have your last 2 weeks been, Kevin?
Week before last was slow due to illness, as you already know, but recovered from that. As far as the sprint's gone, I think I've got most of the things which I wanted to get done. Modals have taken longer than I was expecting due to mostly doing more than I thought I was going to do and jumping in and out to do other little bits and pieces. But yeah, it seems to have been, I don't know if it's just because I was ill or not, but it seems to have been a little less structured the last couple of weeks. But yeah, other than that, it's going well.
Cool. Okay. And I know Sebastian's been working on internal stuff, and you're planning to work on internal stuff again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Not contributing much to Ghost.
But merging all the pull requests because I keep making them.
Yeah, I try to keep up.
So the last 2 weeks have been largely centered around doing the release for me, like actually getting out the door, and then sort of cleaning up some of the bits post-release, getting some bugs squashed, just keeping on top of what everyone's doing with the new stuff and trying to figure out what to do. Now, I thought we would get more bugs raised than we have had. I thought it would be quite buggy and that we'd get loads and loads of feedback. As it was, there have been 2 major things that have tripped people up, one of which I have done a pull request to fix, and the other one I'm just going to leave it for the time being because it's quite hard to fix. That's the fact that you can't actually filter based on you can't do an and with 2 tags. You can't do with posts with photo and video. You can do an or and that'll work, but an and just won't return you anything. It's fundamentally tricky to fix. It's just a bit of a pain in the bum, and so because only one person has run into it, I'm thinking for the time being to just hold off and fix some other things instead. And if it sort of gets a bit more traction, if more people come along and go, hey, I need this, then we can fix it then. But most importantly, what I'm trying to do at the moment is not leave big gaps between releases. So, if we do fix a bug one week, it gets released the next, basically. And so what I've done now is I've put together a quick plan for what I think needs to get fixed before we do another release, and I've put that into an issue which I'll push the button on in a minute. But there's basically just a couple of things, if I can find it, to plan the next month, because I think the main thing that we're going to work on over the next 2 weeks and the Christmas break is going to be spiking on various bits of the Ghost admin, with Kevin doing the front end bit and me doing whatever back end work needs to go with it. So what I've got is following. Where is it? So there are 4 items that I've got in a checklist to do before we do the next release. That is the first pass at the internal or hidden tag behavior that we've been working on. So just for the last couple of days, Kevin and I have been playing around with the idea of having a concept of tags which aren't actually displayed in a theme. So the tag helper doesn't output them, and there's no tag page for that tag. You can check a checkbox in the admin, and that tag will only appear in the admin. You can still do like a house helper request, or it'll still get returned from the API. So it's not private, it's not completely hidden away. It's just not there where in the places you'd normally go and look for it. And the neat thing about that is it opens up 2 use cases for tags that aren't currently possible. The first one is structure for themes, like creating like a category for a group of posts, but you don't actually want that to be visible to anybody, or just sort of adding a little bit of extra metadata to a post in the form of a tag, just to say that it belongs together with some other posts, or building some functionality for those posts to be displayed differently. For example, if you want to do link posts, which isn't currently possible with Ghost, you can add a link tag which is hidden away, and then you could just have the content be a link, and then the template knows that it needs to output a link to a third-party site and nothing else, and that all works a little bit nicer. You can do it now, no problem, it's just that you would see the link tag, whereas with this you wouldn't see it. And the second use case is doing some sort of internal workflows. So if you want to like tag a post with needs review when you've finished writing it, you don't want to have to remember to take that off before you publish. So this internal tag would never get output on the front end. So that's what we've been working on, and we've got it working.
Kind of like the beginning of channels?
It is a part of sort of a rough beginning of some of that sort of stuff, yeah. Like there's a lot of, I've been doing a lot of work on the channel stuff as well. I've got some pull requests that I haven't raised yet to try and get the concept of those being totally dynamic working. So sort of pushing the boundaries of what you can do, configuring the structure of your Ghost blog, basically, at the moment. Kevin's got the checkbox for turning it on and off working, and you've been working on some of the other little UI bits and pieces for that today, I think.
Yeah, the little bits are done. The search filter, I think, is going to be a slightly bigger job.
Yeah.
But maybe only a day and a half or so.
Cool, okay. I haven't read your issue. I know you've raised one. I will do right after the meeting, and we can push that forward a little bit. Basically, just to get a very rough version of it into a release. It's behind a labs flag. It'll already disable it on the front end, so you'll never see it in the theme. It's just getting sort of the admin side of it fleshed out a little bit. The other couple of things I've got is the publish date bug fix that you've already submitted a pull request for, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bug that was annoying me, so I really wanted to get it into a release. And the async helpers issue, that's kind of the main thing that's been tripping people up with the get helper, where if you use one of the meta title, meta description, post class or body class helpers inside a get helper or inside a next or previous post helper, it just causes weird craziness to happen and doesn't work because it's not designed to work. But there's no kind of clear indication that that's not supposed to work. It's reasonably easy to fix, so should be able to get that in, which is the last concrete thing I've got. And the last thing I've got on my list is to do a bit of a review of all the pull requests, because there are quite a lot, and I know there's a few that are sort of waiting on me to go back and merge them or give them an okay to go and rebase or whatever. So I know that we've already got a lot of changes in since 0.72, like already. So I think it'd be just really good to just push out a maintenance release either this week or very early next week with those things in it and crack on again.
Cool.
And just sort of keep going a bit faster, I think, with the releases. And then the other things that I've got in this sprint epic that I've got planned, I should probably just submit it so you can see what I'm talking about, is to spend the next month or so just working through a couple of spikes. So we want to start looking at playing with and specking out what the new editor is going to be. We've got some ideas around that. I think those will all become clear in the next couple of weeks as we start working on that. Image features, image upload, particularly image optimization, is something that needs a bit of a play with. I've been doing lots of research and sort of following along with the issues that people have, or the issue and the research that other people have been doing, and done a lot of my own. And I just need some time to play with the options and see what's going to work for us across all the different ways that you would use Ghost. So yeah, I'm hoping to do a little bit of playing around with that. And then the last thing on there is the filtering, because I figured that was going to be a bit of a job. Yeah, I'm just interested to see what we can do, really, like what we can hack around with and what we can make work. It's kind of one of those things where the technology has some interesting abilities and limitations, and the design for it has some, we could design something whizzy and it might be really hard to implement. We might be able to build something really whizzy that's different. So I just think, yeah, it needs a little bit of developer-led investigation rather than designer-led investigation into what we can do.
Yeah, my current spike that I was working on today is basically, I wrote it up in that issue, but it's essentially kind of hijacking the search box, so it becomes a search or filter.
Cool.
It knows what you're typing, and if you type tag and a colon, then it will just list all the tags which you can select one, and then that will act as a filter instead of search. So kind of like how the search box in Apple Mail or Google Mail type of thing works.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be really, really cool, being able to do both things. But it's one of those things where it's a little bit tricky. Like, where's the line if you're going to be able to do both things? It needs, you need to be able to see how it feels almost when you actually use it.
Although I think the harder part is, not the harder part, the kind of bit which will take more time is kind of updating all of our posts listing routes and controllers, because that's all built around doing it a certain way.
Yep.
Having filtering in there changes it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think that's almost like maybe the fundamental building block of it is just to be able to go from the tag listing page to a version of the content screen which is filtered by that tag, and to be able to get out of that again.
Yeah, I've got that bit working.
Oh, cool. Okay. We've done it. Finished.
Yeah, it just needs some more love to get it kind of work, all the edge cases. So.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's why I like messing around with spiking on things where you basically you get the fundamental feature working. You know that you've broken it in all the ways as well, but like getting the actual feature working. Like, I'm the same with channels. I've got a pull request or a branch locally that has dynamic channels, and I've had that for ages. But I know I've also broken everything. So and so there's no point submitting it yet. It needs all that love to get it working. But yeah, just seeing like how close we are to having like these extra features is nice. It's nice to sort of reach out. Hi, Austin. You're muted.
Hey.
Hey. So yeah, I think in the interest of trying to keep it short, I haven't got too much more that I wanted to bring up. Has anybody else got anything? I can't post my GitHub. GitHub isn't working for me today very well. I don't know if anybody else has had problems, but I can't post a new issue at the moment.
I was going to try and I was working through some acceptance tests. I was planning on doing more last week, but got swamped. But I have a break starting next week, so I should have a decent amount of time to do ghost work. So,
Cool. Love getting more tests. There's a whole bunch that need writing on the server side as well if you're interested. Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, anybody else?
I don't know if it was already discussed. I posted last night. I ran into the issue again in the editor with typing like the letter C again.
Yeah.
And then I also had an error when I refreshed the page. It went away, but doing the arrow keys didn't work in the editor. So there's still some Keymaster scope stuff going on with that. I think. I was gonna take a look into that and see if I can figure out what's going on. But
Yeah.
Could one of you raise that as a issue? I know there's not a clear reproduction case for it, but it seems to be that it's definitely an issue and not a problem. Or maybe we should just reopen the old issue and count it as a regression. But just make sure that we track it, because I'd forgotten about that, and I did see your message yesterday. It's obviously needs chasing, because people not being able to type letters in the editor is pretty serious.
I'll do a bit more playing around. I ran into it on my live blog, which is 7.2. But I'll pull a copy of master on my local and just see if I can reproduce it locally, so I can have a better idea of how to make the bug happen.
Cool. Sorry about that. Lost connection for a second. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I managed to get my internet to work, which is good. I can now actually read and see stuff on GitHub again. So it was worth that little interruption. Yeah, no, that is a good bug. Like, it's one to worth looking at, seeing if we can get fixed before we do the next release. The bit you missed, Austin, we're just talking about trying to ship a quick maintenance release in the next week or so.
Okay.
Leave it ages again this time.
Yeah. Do we want... I was working on getting that feature controller into a service.
I think that's... we won't need that for the feature, for the maintenance release.
Okay, so I'll shelf that for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think there was a couple of other things I was working on too, but
yeah, there's not really much that's desperate for this release. Most of the stuff that has already got an open pull request, I think.
But that editor typing bug will probably
That is the one thing that I'd forgotten about. Yeah, that really does need looking at. In fact, I'll add it into the issue now.
Okay, I'll see what I can get done with that. And I have to peace out, so. But yeah, I'll work on that next couple of days and see what I can find out.
Excellent.
Cool.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that, I think, covers pretty much what we want to get done. It's going to be a little bit slow and unstructured, I think, for the next month because Christmas is in the way. And it always actually amazes me just how quiet it gets at Christmas. I imagine that support and in Slack it will get really, really quiet as well. I always think it will get busy because people are off, but as the internet proves with your Google Analytics waves, everyone does their surfing during the day when they're supposed to be working, right? And then the weekend it all drops off. Yeah, I think that's going to. So I think it's going to be really, really quiet for a month. But so that's why another reason why it's just nice to get another release out and just get a little bit more, especially with the tagging feature, just sort of ship something else for people to play with over Christmas. And iron out the worst problem with the Get Helper as well. Okay. Anybody else for anything else?
If you think of any Get Helper use cases that don't belong in the docs, let me know. I'm just trying to think of like random things that people might use it for that might be too long or too complicated to fit in the docs to write about. So if you think of anything like that, or if you need any help with the docs, let me know, and
Cool.
I can do that.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I know I've still not finished some of the bits. Some of the bits are a bit loose at the moment, but not gotten as many people. Like there was a little flurry, and then like the day that I was on a plane, it went mental, of course, because Sod's Law is definitely a thing. And other than that, it's been pretty quiet. I think the async bug is the worst thing that everyone's bumping into all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think also once it comes out of labs, it's probably going to get a lot more. Because I'm sure themes right now, they're still not building it yet because no one is going to use it.
Yeah.
So once it comes out of labs, it'll probably be a mad rush too.
Yeah, but that's going to be really frustrating because no doubt everybody will want to change it then.
Right.
Which will be.
Everything's worked for me so far, so.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, there are a couple of little weird edges, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I was never intending to take it out of labs really quickly. Like I think it can stay there for another release or two, quite happily, while we fix any of the bugs with it and let people play with it. So
I agree.
give it some time to bed in. And by the time it does come out, hopefully it'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, Sebastian, anything to say?
No, all good on my side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. One thing worth mentioning, we do have somebody who's working on building the client interface, the client management tool.
Cool.
And I wrote a mini spec for that yesterday, which I think is correct, but you might want to glance over it. I can link you to it and check that I haven't missed anything obvious or said anything stupid.
Is it already on GitHub?
Yeah, it's on your issue as a comment. On the client.
Interesting that I missed it. I will find it, no worries.
Cool. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
And I also saw a comment that someone would like to work on the API for the client.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good because that's kind of needed to get the management member side thing going. And I need to figure out what we're going to do with permissions. That's one other thing that needs sorting out. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's like a massive blocking issue. Permissions. Crazy.
We keep working around it, but at some point we have to address it.
Yeah, for sure. I think probably. I don't think we're going to need to work around it for client stuff. I think we just need to add new permissions. I don't think there's anything complicated in there that's magical that we're going to need to put hacks in or anything. Just need to do it. But yeah, we definitely need to overhaul that whole section. So many things.
All the things.
All the things. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Then let's wrap this up. Thanks for being here. Great.
Yes.
And I'll see you all after Christmas if I don't see you before. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.